Hello and welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Mark Blood Waterfall Hoffmeyer.
And I'm Jay Pro Comps Looking at this Fluid. Welcome you to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast where Mark and I have been through all the three Deep Blue Sea films, scene by scene, now looking at some Deep Blue Sea adjacent films, or films with Deep Blue scenes. And this is the fifth of our six-part Jurassic Park franchise scene look back, as we're going through the Deep Blue Sea adjacent scenes of all the Jurassic Park films, but in a more succinct way of saying that. And this is The Lost World Jurassic Park, the second film, but the fifth one we're doing, because we did these in a wrong order. But hey, it's fine. We're looking at the Deep Blue Sea adjacent scenes in The Lost World Jurassic Park from 1997. Steven Spielberg, Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, etc. So the scenes in particular we are looking at are the opening, where the little girl gets attacked on the beach by the compies. Dieter, Peter Stormare's character, getting attacked by said same compies again in a stream. And then all the boat stuff at the end of the film. All these kind of aquatic scenes.
Carter! Carter!
Yes, Carter. The whole
He gets killed in a puddle.
He does. He would have counted as well, I guess. Yeah, he gets smushed in a puddle. Yeah, certainly. I feel like the Carter being blamed for Dieter not wandering off is like an added wrinkle we don't need, because he's listening to his music. It's Tommy Rosales Jr. from Con Air. It's our guy Tommy, who he's listening to music, so he can't hear when Dieter's calling for him. But Dieter could have just wandered off and fallen down a hill. But we don't blame Carter. It's Dieter's fault.
I gotta tell you, my least favorite trope in cinema is when someone has to use the restroom and they walk 300 yards away from the camp, and then they get lost and killed. And it happened in Alien Covenant. It happened in this. It's like, hey y'all, 20 feet.
Yeah,
go behind a tree.
These are this is there's a lot of guys here.
Yeah.
And only one of them is this is the first break they've had in hours, and only one of them's going for a wee. That's unbelievable. But just go behind a tree. That's all you need to do.
You're surrounded by redwoods. These aren't skinny pine trees that people you just walk behind one of those. It's like an apartment. They just go around it. No one's gonna see, and you aren't murdered by compies this movie, Jay. When I saw this when I was 15, I had watched every R-rated movie known to man that I could get my hands on. Not known that'd be crazy. But I knew all about violence in cinema. But this is a PG-13 Steven Spielberg movie that is pretty gnarly, dude, for a PG-13 movie. People get stomped. There's blood waterfalls. Dogs get eaten. You get, Carter's death. You get the nicest Richard Schiff ripped in half.
Eddie. Yeah.
Eddie, it's just this is a pretty gnarly movie. The tall grass.
It opens with a little girl she survives. We're told in a later scene, but it's an off-screen attack which ends with her mother seeing something and screaming, which leads to the best match cut in film of that scream going into Goldblum's yawn. I love that so much.
And also, this movie features my least favorite character in any Spielberg film ever. Is that guy sitting next to Goldblum on the train?
Yeah. Hey, is this you?
And smacking his gum. I wanted to jump through the screen and punch that guy. But I just want to say, I am very, very, very impressed with Edward, with Barry, and with Jeffrey, the crew of the boat who it's wavy. They have their yacht and it's anchored, but to get everything there on those choppy waters and then set up a delicious lunch with prawns and drinks and silverware, actual silverware.
There's 3 different meals being served. The little girl has prawns, Kathy has prawns, and then there's lamb shanks on one of them, and what are they called? The tomahawk, tomahawk bone things.
Pork chops?
No, they're called lamb tomahawks, I think.
Oh, interesting.
But
sounds like a horror movie.
It's bone tomahawk. But yeah, these people are awful.
Well, they know the names of their workers.
This is true. Thank you, Jeff. This is that time when all butlers are called Jeffrey. It's a very 90s butler name. But yeah, and when she comes back and she wants a drink, and she comes back to the table and everyone says, "No, I'm not going to pour this myself," and summons one of her staff to pour the drink for her. That's
Edward.
What makes her awful. Yeah, she summons Edward.
Pour yourself a drink.
It's right there. Pick it up. Put it in your glass and drink it.
But like, it's just crazy that they got all of that stuff on. Like, that's a rough ride on the way in, and they're just setting up a beautiful feast for this family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like so this must be like a private boat that they already own that's taken there because we know that the locals don't go anywhere near this island, the Cinco Muertes.
listen, it's
Uh,
87 miles southwest of Isla Nublar.
yes, so there's another island. I love the retconning. Like, there's a second island. No, it was there the whole time. Don't worry about it.
We
Just
just
cut it
didn't
up.
talk about it.
There's no walls. There's no fences. They just roam free. It's fine.
Oh man,
Just go.
and the girl. I'm sure the husband's gonna get in trouble for this, but you never expect compies to attack your child.
No, I mean, do they know what island this is, or did they just? Because I mean, I don't think they do. I don't think they know. Like, this is the island they made the dinosaurs on. I feel like
I
they
feel like
just.
Jeffrey should know.
I reckon Jeffrey might do. Jeffrey might just hate these people. Jeffrey's been looking to get out of this gig for ages. I reckon this is an island that Paul, who's the dad, he may have visited as a child, or like it's like a family vacation destination, and
Hmm.
he hasn't read the news on like there's been this dinosaur thing that happened. He doesn't believe it if he read it. He's just going back to this island he went to as a kid, and it just happens to be one that Hammond has since bought and built dinosaurs on. He's just rocked up there, and his little girl gets eaten.
No security. No,
No.
just whoops.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs on this island,
Yeah, whoops, dinosaurs.
and they attacked your daughter on a nice family vacation.
Yes, they're having
I bet you
corn.
David is. I bet you Edward feels terrible for the daughter, but he's like, I hate these people.
Yeah, I never meant for this to happen. Like the parents get. I liked little Kathy. Oh, that's so bad.
That setup, Jay. They have real silverware, like silver. Like
They have umbrellas. They have like lounges, tables, everything. There's a lot going on here. Too much.
and that's too much for like. They're not going to lounge there for hours, are they?
I mean, I don't know how long it must have taken them a while to get there.
Yeah,
So, it's a nice beach.
it's true.
I mean, they'll stay there until they decide not to, I guess. But I doubt they're camping there overnight. They'll retire to the yacht.
But I guess anytime a movie starts with a child attack and then a yawn played for laughs, this
Yeah.
movie's pretty gnarly, Jay.
It is.
Spielberg has been quoted as saying like this is kind of a paycheck movie. He didn't quite know why he made it.
Yeah.
But
So I have
fun.
a theory. I don't know if this is my take or something I've read years ago. It's just kind of lodged in my brain. But I think this film is about studio filmmaking. We talked recently about directors making films about filmmaking. I think this fits in that category for Spielberg, where he sees himself as the greatest character of the film, Roland Tembo, the Pete Postlethwaite character. He's like there. He's been dragged along by these rich dentists, of like the studios, the executives, like directing him, telling him what to do, and then Postlethwaite has this great monologue of like, I've been dragged along by too many rich dentists. Set up camp here if you want. Set it up in a swamp, whatever. Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to make the film that you want me to make. And he's the only character with an arc. Like Tembo sets out wanting to hunt the T-Rex, wanted to have his shot make. Spielberg wants to. He always had his goal of winning that Best Director Oscar. There's that famous video of him when the Jaws Oscar nominations get announced, and he's there filming himself like I'm going to be nominated for Best Director, and he doesn't get that nomination, and it's kind of like embarrassing for him. But then he's just won the film before this. He's just won for Schindler's List. So I think this film is about he's Tembo. He wants to hunt the T-Rex. He wants to win the Best Director Oscar. He wants to make the biggest film. Again, the film he made prior to this, Jurassic Park, biggest film of all time. 1993, the best year any director's ever had. Spielberg,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, Schindler's List. At the end of this film, Tembo doesn't want to hunt the T-Rex anymore. He's done. He's spent enough time in the company of death, making films for studios. And after this, Spielberg, all the films he makes are for his own studio. He founds DreamWorks. Every film he makes after this isn't for some big existing studio. He makes it for himself.
That's why he can make Fablemans.
Which actually is one of the ones he didn't make for DreamWorks.
Oh,
but like
he was smart enough not to make it for DreamWorks because he knew it wouldn't recoup it. Good movie, but
it's a great
no,
movie.
it's not going to make its money back.
No, it's a passion project definitely, but Yeah, he's Spielberg. Who's going to say no to him at this point? But yeah, the next film he makes, not for a studio, or for a studio after this, is Indiana Jones 4. And then like BFG Ready Player One. So most of the films he makes after this are for himself. And that's what Roland Tembo is now off doing. He's just working for himself, not for these rich people.
Oh.
This isn't deeply adjacent at all. It's just a theory that I had watching this film.
I also read that he said that my sequels aren't as good as my originals because I go into every sequel I've made and I'm too confident. This movie made $1 gazillion, which justifies the sequel. So I come in like it's going to be a slam dunk, and I wind up making an inferior movie to the one before. I'm talking about The Lost World and Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I think of all of his sequels. The sequels he's made are the Indiana Jones films, where Raiders is inarguably the best one. I love Last Crusade a great deal, but Raiders is the best. So all of the sequels or prequels he made after that are inferior. If you say like Temple of Doom is worse than Raiders, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is worse than Last Crusade. You're gonna play that way.
That's my ranking. So my ranking now, I think my ranking is 1, 2, 3, 5, 4.
I've yet to see 5. It's not out yet as we're recording this for me. So my ranking is 1, 3, 2, 4. I put Temple of Doom below Last Crusade because it doesn't have James Bond in it. So what else is to do?
I find a lot to like about 4 because it's such the tone, it's such a yarn. Like it's not.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's completely different tone, but it has nothing to do with the water scenes in The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
No, I don't particularly want to cover the waterfall scene in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That is a terrible scene.
Yeah,
3 times it drops. 3 times.
But like so we have this opening water scene, makes me happy. I'm just more impressed with how they set up they just set up all the dishes.
Picnic. Yeah.
I wrote great chairs, table dining, and then I put like thank you. Oh, bottle of red. I go, here's a bottle of red. Oh, can I get some more champagne? Like just the most obnoxious people
I hate them so much.
that he could possibly do. Oh man. And I just want to say, Julianne Moore's introduction to this movie and her character, Sarah.
She can't not touch.
She is awesome. I love Julianne Moore.
Yes.
But Sarah is a wildlife photographer who has been in some of the craziest situations known to man.
Yep.
She walks up to a gang of stegosauruses, a baby stegosaurus,
nearby to its parents.
Without checking her film. And it's like, oh, I'm going to touch you. And then she takes a picture and it whines. That's not the best introduction to a character. Listen, I know that photographers are maniacs. I've seen Rear Window, which is a weird thing to say. But just
1 hour photo.
Yeah. I mean, she's introduced that movie Pecker too with Edward Furlong. He's a photographer. I don't even know what that means. But you introduce her just doing everything you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it's in the water, which is nice.
That's true. Yeah, it was a wet scene.
And then she's like, it's fine. It's fine, Ian. It's fine. Like, I'm not worried about raptors or T-Rexes or...
Should be.
It's fine. Like, you should be. You're right, Jay. Like, you don't float in the Amazon in a tube and go, life is great. Like, there's things in there. There's things that could get you. So, I know it's another water scene, but yeah, that bothered me with Sarah. I just want to say. And it's in water.
I love this film. I also kind of hate this film. So this is very much a nostalgia film where I admit it's not perfect. There's a lot of things wrong with it. I will still watch it any day of the week. I've just seen it a bunch of times, and it's one of those films that's frustrating because everything everyone does is stupid, and you're watching it thinking, why are you doing this? You all should know better than this, but you're all still being very stupid. Like, why are you taking the T-Rex back to San Diego? That's not going to go well. It's just because Spielberg wants to make a Godzilla film. That's what it is. It's the only reason. That's what he wanted to do.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
He wanted to make a kaiju movie.
Don't take the baby T-Rex back into your little...
No! I know it has a broken leg.
Right.
You want to mend the broken leg.
Of course you do. But also, you're all going to die.
The thing is yelling. It's like, ah! Ah! So of course its parents are going to come after it and rip poor Richard Schiff in half.
Yeah, as Spielberg calls it, the wishbone scene.
Yeah. And listen, I love how they filmed it. They built a miniature wall that looked really cool, and they did some really neat stuff to film it. And it's rain drenched, so it's partly water. But yeah, there's I guess I have a hard time with action films where the core idea is bad. And like Die Hard, it's not really Bruce Willis's fault. In Jurassic Park, they're going to a park that they don't know anything about. It goes wrong.
It's people going to the danger is the problem. So I mean, they like Sarah's already there. So the mistake is landing. What they should have done is take a helicopter with like one of those dangling things on it, like hover over her. She gets into it, lift off and fly away. That's
and make sure the cable tied to your helicopter can break off easily.
Sure.
So you don't get deeply
if a
seed.
T-Rex comes and gets her, sorry, that's it. We tried.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore, goodbye.
Whoops.
But yeah, so it's bring all these people here and then let's take some dinosaurs back with us. No, silly. Don't do that. Stupid.
And yeah, but you know what though? The animatronics look great. There's some there's that scene where the guy gets the snake in his clothes and he just runs outside and gets murdered by a T-Rex in the waterfall. It's so unnecessary. The entire scene, Spielberg's like, I want a blood waterfall. How do we have a blood waterfall happen? Well, they're in there and a guy just gets a snake in his jacket. And he's like, oh no, and he runs into the mouth of a T-Rex.
It's for that, and it's for we have the jump scare of Ian's back. He somehow got round that T-Rex that was right outside the waterfall.
He busts through there. But I'm not hating on this movie, Jay. I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed going through this again for this. But also, yeah, they make some really... It's an odd one. And like they took the raptors out of the boat. Talk about a great docking scene. And it's meant to imply that the T-Rex murdered people in that small room.
Makes no sense. Can't do it.
Or Steve Buscemi from Con Air.
Yep, Garland Green's out there running amok. No other reason for it. Yeah. Wait. You mentioned the like the return of dinosaurs. I love the little. They make some Donkey puppets. There's Donkey puppets. There's too much CGI in this film a little bit, I think. But the fact they have some animatronic stuff, the animatronic companies are great. And when Peter Stormare's like covered in loads of them, and there's one on his lip, I love it. He's like covered in little dinosaur puppets. It's a dream come true.
They're attached to him, and it looks beautiful. Did you hear the story? What happened to him when they went out to the forest to shoot?
What happened?
Okay, so
is this all like real footage?
So he was out there. They went out to the Redwoods National Forest, and there's park rangers all over the place. There's craft service in specific spots because of animals. You don't want animals coming to set. And so somehow he ends up with a bunch of salted sunflower peanuts, and he had these sunflower peanuts, and he took them out. He took them out of the area. Not a good move. No. But while he's out of there, he sees some chipmunks. And growing up, he knew about Chip and Dale. And so he went up to this gang of Chippendales. He said, one jumped onto my right hand where I held 10 sunflower seeds. And instead of going for the sunflower seeds, he went for my ring finger. And he bit on my ring finger, the top. And I could see his 2 effing prong teeth going deep into my finger. Oh. I was trying to get him off. And he held on with his teeth. Finally screaming, I got him off, and he flew like a tomahawk into a tree. But I was bleeding like crazy, and he had to go to the hospital to get checked for tetanus and rabies. And he thought he was going to get fired because they had to wait for him because he's a major scene. Like that scene is days to be filmed because Spielberg saw Fargo and he wanted to kill him in a movie, which makes me happy. Sure. But he walked up to Spielberg, and Spielberg was just laughing at him. Like, you idiot. You got attacked by a chipmunk, and you wrecked a day for us. But it's such an absurd story that Spielberg, I think when you're a director, you have to laugh that off. Like, what happened to Stormare? His death. We're doing his death scene in the crick. Well, a chipmunk bit him, and now he has to get a rabies shot.
A chipmunk hospitalized him. I think I'd say like a chipmunk. It was going for the 10 peanuts on his hand. That's when the attack came, not from the front but from the side, with 2 other chipmunks that were hiding in the woods.
Clever Chips, clever Dales. But he wasn't even, so he shouldn't have had the sunflower seeds out of there.
No, yeah.
And then he gets a chipmunk just latches into his finger, and imagine Stormare going like flinging his finger around, and then the little chipmunk goes flying in the air.
Every day that he delayed shooting, they added another compy to the scene.
You know, it'd be funny if there's an Easter egg where if you just squint big enough, you see a tiny little chipmunk puppet
Riding a compy
on his leg. Like, wait, is that a chipmunk attacking him too? That's Spielberg's gag about Stormare costing them money in the Redwoods.
I was thinking, like, Stormare would have been a nice addition to the Deep Blue Sea cast. I think he would, like, just having some like a greasy janitor kind of character on Aquatica.
A greasy jet.
Actually, he just has that. I love Stormare so much. He's always horrible people in everything. Has he ever played a good guy? I don't think so.
Yeah, he could be the Russian guy in Armageddon, but on Deep Blue Sea, hitting pipes with wrenches and using WD-40, that kind of stuff.
This is how we fix Aquatica in Russia. Just hitting it.
They always make it. He's a Swedish guy, and they always make him Russian.
That's true. I mean, I think he's Swedish in Fargo. Right? Yeah, Grimsrud feels like a Swedish or a Norwegian kind of name. So not Russian at least.
Well, that's fair. I like that the guy who directed Nobody, he's Russian, and these movies, John Wick movies, they never put Russians in them. So he's like, I made sure that there's actual Russians in Nobody, so that the Russians weren't mad at me when I came home. I thought that was a good story.
I'm giving you work. I'm killing you all on screen, but I'm giving you work.
Hey, listen, those movies fund all the stuntmen on the planet, so it's great. But like, I love his death scene though. He walks 300 yards away, falls down a hill, and just like that's a long scene, Jay. Like
it is. Yeah.
You think he escapes? He's throwing rocks, and then he jumps over a tree and just gets slaughtered.
I counted it. 30 compies follow him over that tree. Like 30 CGI compies just take him out, and then you get the trickle of blood in the stream underneath, which is a nice. We killed him. It's off screen, but you know what happened. It's still quite like gore implied.
What's more horrifying, being attacked by 300 compies or 6,000 chipmunks?
Oh my. 300 compies or 6,000 chipmunks. Either way is too many. I got 30 compies or 600 chipmunks. I'm not surviving either of those. I think 6,000 chipmunks would be somehow more confusing than dinosaurs attacking me.
They would slowly eat you to death, Jay.
I mean, I think it'd be pretty quick. There's 6,000 of them. There's loads.
Just hope that they get one of your veins and that you can just bleed out quick.
Give me those teeth. I'll help you out. Let's get this over with.
Compy death. What's a better story, Jay? What happened to Jay? Eaten by dinosaurs. What happened to Jay? Eaten by chipmunks.
Both have a lot of questions coming up. I mean, but dinosaurs has the question of like, well, wait, when? How many millions of years ago was this? I feel like dinosaurs would make more sense for me because I am dinosaur obsessed. I love them, and people would think, oh yeah, he tried to do a Jurassic Park, he like tried to make it work, and he succeeded, great, but also he died. Whereas 6,000 chipmunks is like. Are there even that many chipmunks in the world? Probably. But how would they all be in the same place?
Maybe there's a sporting event for chipmunks, and you walked into it. Maybe it's a Chipmunk World Cup.
The Chipmunk World Cup. What
and you just sauntered into it. Sport? I don't know.
It's chipmunk racing.
Acorn ball.
Acorn ball. Yeah. 3,000 aside.
No, they're in the stands, and then there's the players.
Oh, of course.
No, it's rugby actually. Chipmunk rugby World Cup. You saunter in, you find the stadium, you end up messing up the game, and a bunch of drunk chipmunks who are, probably from like Australia, like whatever big rugby countries there are, New Zealand. What are some other big rugby countries? America.
Who's in the Six Nations? It's England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales.
France has a rugby squad.
I want to say Italy, but I don't follow sport.
From all over the world, Jay.
Sure.
Just level you. Chipmunk rugby fans destroy you. Wait, so we're talking about in Jurassic Park we ended up on badgers. And now we're talking about chipmunks with our discussion.
Yeah. What's next? What's going to be Jurassic Park 3?
Oh,
Mine?
we just have to let it happen. We
We'll
have
see.
to let it happen. But listen, like I love when he's throwing rocks. Like I love in these situations too. You're like, oh, this is what I would do. Like you think he could make it, and then he falls into the puddle, and it's such a horror. It's a horror. Steven Spielberg included horror movie moments in this
Yeah.
film, and that's what kind of makes it fun. And I love that 10 minutes is dedicated to a guy dying because he just wanted to kill the dude from Fargo.
And he's always, well, he often includes horror moments. Like, think about the end of
War of the
Raiders,
Worlds,
War of the Worlds, and like, he's heavily involved in the likes of Poltergeist.
Terminal.
Yes, the Terminal is a horror story for everyone involved, particularly the audience. Uh, it's a weird film.
Tom Hanks can't do that kind of role.
No,
Bridge of Spies though is really good.
Bridge of Spies is excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, the story told with a cold. He does.
Tom-
I love Bridge of Spies. It's so much better than it should be, I think, for the kind of film.
Tom Hanks is so good in Bridge of Spies. I don't think people knew how good he was. And I feel like Matt Damon did the same thing in Ford vs. Ferrari and Air. Like he reached the same amount of charm that Tom Hanks hit in Bridge of Spies.
I see. I go with Damon in The Martian as being like the most charming.
Oof.
I think he was robbed for the Oscar for The Martian. They gave it to DiCaprio for The Revenant, and I think DiCaprio didn't do a lot of acting for The Revenant. He was just in the cold, acting cold.
Yeah. Put me in
Whereas-
0-degree weather and I'll act cold for you, Jay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Put me in a
gotta
puddle and I'll
I'll
be
trudge to
miserable.
the snow. Yeah, I can do that. I'll look really sad. But like, think of just how much of The Martian is just Matt Damon, and how charismatic he needs to be. How many actors can you think of who could do that? Like that performance. It's so well handled. I love The Martian so much.
Timothy Olyphant?
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's none others, but like one of them.
He wouldn't be as charming. You're right. Matt Damon, like, if there was a draft, I would pick Matt Damon first. Is he the most charming actor?
He's got to be up there. Just even when he's not acting, just the stories that he tells are still like really engaging.
Oh, so Clooney staples me up to this wall and he leaves me there for 48 days and I'm up there just getting fed Capri Suns. Oh, that Clooney. Like, that's the stories.
That's when I recorded all my lines for Happy Feet 2. It's stapled to that wall.
This one time Clooney rented a tank, blew up my house.
People need to stop working with George Clooney.
Yeah.
He's not a nice guy, it seems. But the other wet scene we've got is the boat at the end, the SS Venture, the same boat from King Kong. Which this is kind of a bad scene because you have the boat coming in full speed. Everyone can see it's coming in full speed. No one gets out of the way.
I'm just looking at this radar.
You've got Arliss Howard, Peter Ludlow, is the one guy who like sees what's going to happen and kind of backs away slowly. Even he's not going fast enough. I get he's not telling anyone he's the bad guy, but he just needs to like run away, flee. A boat that's coming to kill you all.
Mm-hmm. And they just stand there.
They just stand there, and then
And
they
then
go on
the
the
T-Rex
boat,
gets
and they let
out.
the T-Rex out.
You know what my favorite part of all this is when the T-Rex drinks the pool water and murders the dog.
Yes, I mean bad for the T-Rex to drink chlorine for one thing. That's concerning. Then he eats
Well,
a
kill
dog.
the T-Rex. Chlorine.
They tried to
Just
eat
wait.
6,000 chipmunks.
Just wait.
Could a T-Rex take 6,000 chipmunks? I don't think so.
Well, where are they? Where does the fight take place?
A jungle. It's in a jungle. I think
Oh yeah, the
feels
T-Rex is set. T-Rex is fine.
I don't know. I reckon that the chipmunks can climb trees and drop down on it and take its eyes out. Or they'd form a giant chipmunk wrecking ball like in ants.
Like in Critters?
Yeah. A giant chipmunk wrecking ball. They make
Oh
a big
my
ant
gosh.
wrecking ball, but one made of chipmunks.
I mean, he would squish so many of them, the blood would get everywhere.
He'd fall over.
Let's say we put it on a large basketball court. He would smush so many of them, the floor would get slippery. Or the T-Rex, I don't know why I said he. The T-Rex would smush so many chipmunks, it would slip and fall.
Yeah,
and be stuck.
and it's got those tiny little arms. It can't get back up here.
Mm-mm. Chipmunks
And
are swarming.
And you got Kurt Russell making baskets in the background, like leaping from one side of the court to the other.
Yeah, Snake could do that. And
Just
and
over a T-Rex.
chipmunks aren't attacking him.
Look, he's a snake. Snakes eat chipmunks.
Yeah, you're right. Like, oh, there's Kurt Russell. His name is Snake. Watch out.
Just leave him alone. He's only
If
got
he was
one
a
eye.
coach from Miracle, we'd kill him, but he's Snake.
If he was
Pliskin.
Captain Ron, he'd be history.
So what's your favorite water scene in this movie?
It's Dieter's death. It's got to be. It's a great. It's so many compies. It's the compy animatronics all over them.
It's all over him.
Yeah. I mean,
And there's a great chipmunk story about it.
The trailer hanging over the cliff is like the best scene of the film. But it's raining, but that's about as well as it gets, I think. The sound in that scene, the cracking of the glass, very deep with the adjacent moment. Is the cracking of the glass. But that's what makes that scene is again stupid decisions of Julianne Moore. She's on a big window and she decides to like put all her weight on her fingertips. It's like, don't do that. You're gonna die. So just flatten out, surface area.
I do love problems on problems, though. And that scene is just a big problem on problem for everybody involved. The guy gets eaten. The rope isn't strong enough. There's 2 T-Rexes. The thing starts sliding. Like I love a good
and then spits in her hand.
I love a good problem on problem scene.
And it doesn't feel like we talked about this with Fallen Kingdom, where it's like the lava and then the stampede off the cliff, and then they got to get to the boat. Like it doesn't feel as bad as that. It feels like quite this happens, then this happens because of that. Whereas Fallen Kingdom is like, oh no, this is just a chain of bad things happening, unrelated.
It's a set piece.
Yeah.
As opposed to just Jay Bayona like hating dinosaurs.
Let's kill them all. Let's watch them all die.
That's what people came for.
There's things you love. I'm going to kill them. They're going to die. Asphyxiation, drowning in front of your eyes.
And it made $1 billion.
He's a bad guy. Jay Bayona, you're on my list.
But yeah, I think my favorite water scene. I just like the visual of T-Rex eats the dog.
You don't eat the dog, so you don't expect that dog to get eaten. And they get every time I watch it. Oh my god, the T-Rex ate the dog,
and the chain's still in its mouth.
Yeah, but the doghouse is hanging from it.
Oh, it's mean.
It's very mean. Yeah, it's a mean film.
And that's why it's interesting that Spielberg went out to do that. I mean, the first one's. I mean, we talked about this in the first one. The spit dinosaur kill. The Dilophosaurus, is that what it is?
Yes.
I mean, that murder is horrifying. And the arm dropping is horrifying. And it's a scary movie. But I feel like Lost World, he just wants death that's mean. Like, he specifically wanted a person getting smushed. He wanted a waterfall kill. He killed a dog. He attacked a child.
He's got so many more people to work with this time around.
That's true.
You've got all of the guys that show up in the B team, and then you bring the T-Rex to, America. That's like a limitless number of people. That's a whole country.
And then kill David Kep.
It's killed David Kep. It like rampages through the streets. It like chases after some Japanese tourists.
Jesus. He wanted to make a kaiju movie.
He kind of did.
It's another tacked on ending, Jay. We spent a year talking about Con Air, and now we're talking about with a tacked on ending.
It's the year of tacked on endings.
Huh.
It is the most
I know
film.
Face Off wasn't a tacked on ending because they filmed it first, but it's a boat fight in Face Off. Like,
Face Off was a tacked on film before the ending. They made the ending. They tacked on the film before.
But this is an odd year for...
The Rock has like a tacked on car chase in the middle of it that is unnecessary.
Yeah, it's full of action scenes I just forget about. But I will say, as far as tacked on endings go, this is the best because of it's Spielberg and he's able to create some iconic imagery of the T-Rex just... what I was going to say screaming.
Yeah, it's roaring,
growling.
Howling.
Yeah, roaring. There it is. Yeah. T-Rex roaring, the dog, the water. Like, there's a lot of neat visuals about it. And
the T-Rex roaring at the city was my desktop wallpaper. It's the T-Rex roaring at skyscrapers. No other film has that.
And it looks great. So yeah, I would say this is probably one of my favorite tacked on endings. I don't really forget about a lot, which is nice.
I feel like Vince Vaughn is noticeably absent. He just didn't come back with this bit. He's been a main character up to this point. We last saw him helping him get off the island. He's gone, and
He disappeared.
He's just not there anymore. Uh, and same like Pete Postlethwaite not in this film anymore. We only have Goldblum, Julianne Moore, and Arliss Howard. And the actual end of the film when they're all watching the TV, Goldblum and Julianne Moore, the fakest sleeping I've ever seen. But they just it's so bad.
You need to do a list of the fakest sleeping.
I mean, that's number one. What else would be on that list? I don't know.
Maybe Sam Neill in one of the movies. Doesn't he take a nap?
In the third one, he has the dream of the raptor talking to him. We'll talk about that soon. Alan. Yeah, that's coming up. No point of the franchise.
All right, so we're gonna have to start raking fake sleeping scenes.
We are. There's no fake sleeping in the Deep Blue Sea franchise that I can recall. No one takes a nap. There's too many sharks.
Well, in Deep Blue Sea, the shark fakes being under.
That's true. I'm thinking of humans. I'm being speciesist. It does fake being put under. Yeah, you're right. And it's convincing.
And LL Cool J's fake unconscious or fake dead because he's popped his eye open in one scene. He's like, boop. I'm not unconscious. I didn't just get bit by a gigantic shark.
I shouldn't be dead right now.
My femur should be separated from my body.
Oh,
the blood, Jay. The blood.
The blood. When they bring the baby T-Rex back to the boat and they're really like business-like. They get it on there and they just jump off. There's not a lot of discussion. They just get it done. I like that. I appreciate that. They just bring the T-Rex back, shut the thing. And, he Ludlow's still on there. Oh well, snack for the baby.
That's brutal too. That's a gnarly death.
The mother T-Rex like takes his leg out, just bites him so he can't escape, and the little baby gets his first kill. It's adorable.
Yeah. Go get him.
He's all yours.
Go get him. Just murders the guy.
Yeah. He's like him.
Ludlow. What a wet noodle.
No, John Hammond. He does feel like the worst villain of the franchise. Actually, well, I mean, Minion.
No, Rafe Spall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Rafe. I forget. Rafe Spall's so bad I forget he's in it. Fallen Kingdom just has a bunch of lesser, but like he's got him, Toby Jones, Ted Levine.
I'm trying to do his American accent. I can't.
Just picked a Doctor Strange, but worse.
Wow. And not special. But no, I can't do it.
Dana Carvey.
I don't even know who that was.
That's Dana Carvey.
Ah, yeah, that is. And that's
a church lady.
You got red on ya. How's that?
Much better. As his American accent from Shaun of the Dead.
You got red on you. It's so I don't even want to talk about it. It just makes me sad.
We've done them. It's fine. So was your favorite Deep Blue scene for this one was the dog being eaten?
Yeah. He eats a dog.
Yeah, unexpected.
And there's a chain hanging from its mouth. It's so mean.
Yeah, it's just surprising. I always forget I always think, the dog's barking, the dog's gonna be fine. Spielberg's not gonna let a T-Rex eat a dog. Oh wait, there. Bye. Okay, that happened.
It is in his mouth.
It's being swallowed, and yeah, there he goes.
I love it. What's your favorite?
Mine was Dieter being killed in the Dieter death.
Yeah.
Just because of all the animatronic.
A lot of death, yeah.
So I think that'll do it for the Lost World. That's the scenes of this one. So we have one Jurassic film left. It was Jurassic Park 3 coming up soon at some point. We'll cover it.
This is a bummer. I've enjoyed this series.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll find more though. That's the thing, Mark. There are plenty more films out there with deep blue scenes. We'll cover some more. Don't you worry.
It really is a way to refresh on a franchise, to just sort of chat about, like, we could do Friday the 13th.
I've only seen the first one, so I'm happy to watch more.
I mean, they're great. I mean, but that's a lot for you to go through just to talk about water scenes.
Are there any like water-based scenes from the Saw franchise? No, they wake up, it's all in a bathroom.
I mean, the first one has the tub,
Yeah.
but it's all gross.
And one of them they have to drain blood. That's the 6th or 5th. I don't know. Those films will get mushed together. Let's not talk about Saw films. I don't want to talk about Saw films. They make me feel ill.
I mean, there's water in blood.
Sure. And often blood in water.
Blood, yeah. Yeah. Oh.
CGI blood in water in Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's for sure.
Mark, do you have any plugs?
No.
Let's see.
Well, I got some cool stuff. Okay. I feel like I can say it. I might have an article for The Ringer out by now.
Yeah.
And I'll have a video out about Mission Impossible on Fandom by the numbers. And I should have a style theory episode about Mandalorian's armor. And then there's movies from the flicks and Con Air. Con Air's done. Movies from the flicks.
Yep, Con Air will have finished.
Hanging out.
Like a week ago, I think that Con Air will have finished.
Wow.
And yeah, we'll be done with that. No more Con adjacent films. And see, I haven't got any.
We're doing
I haven't got any more plugs. Con Air the podcast. When this comes out, I might have done another Lamperty. Who knows? We'll see. It's one so far this year. But once we finish Con Air, I'll have more time to do Lamperty. So fingers crossed. But yeah,
I might have a movie of the month.
You might
if it beats out.
It's currently winning.
Be cool.
Get Shorty. I think if it beats out Get Shorty. Yeah. Yeah. So look out for that over on the Lambcast. But as for The Lost World Jurassic Park, I've been Jay Cluett.
And I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
And we'll Deep Blue see you again soon.
Bye. Oh, see ya. Oh, see ya.
Yeah, Deep Blue see you again soon.
That's what it is.